This is the new best slime farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition, producing over 22,000 slime in less than 4 minutes, or 365,000 slime per hour. This build is super cheap and very easy to build. You can build it in less than a few minutes. This farm can also be a great source of experience, getting you level 30 in about 30 seconds and to level 78 in about 3 minutes. And it's pretty much fully automated, meaning that you don't really need to do anything at all while it's running. This farm uses the new infestation potion on some armadillos to give us a ton of silverfish extremely quickly. And then we're using the new oozing potion on those silverfish to get us an absolute ton of slime in a very short amount of time. We're automatically killing all these mobs and splashing them with the potions. That way, all you need to do is pick up the items and craft them, because there is no storage system fast enough to handle this much slime. How many items you get depends on how many armadillos you put into the farm. I'm using 7 to get these insane rates, but you can easily use 1 or 2 to get just a bit of slime, or you can add even more armadillos if you want to completely burn down Minecraft. So we're getting these insane rates without even using a looting sword. All of the slime are dying automatically for us, as you can see here. And this is because it would be very difficult to actually kill all these slimes by hand. You would have to use a lot of potions, and that is a completely separate tutorial. If we were to use looting on these guys, we would get 2.5 times more items and a ton of experience. So how does this farm work? Well, it's actually really simple. So we have ourselves a zombie up at the top here and some armadillos down below. Now, a neat little mechanic with these guys is that they will roll up when they are next to a danger source, like a zombie, and then they're basically immune to all damage, or at least small forms of damage, while they are rolled up. So all these armadillos are just sitting there on a cactus, and you can put as many of them in there as you like, and they never take damage, and they will never die. It's actually a really cool mechanic that was discovered by just me. That is their name. It's not just me, it's just me. Does that make sense? So then we drop the silverfish down onto these trapdoors so they take a little bit of fall damage. Every now and again, we'll open up those trapdoors using this redstone line, and then they fall down onto the campfires. We're using soul campfires in here to kill them faster, and before they die, we are splashing them with an oozing potion, which turns them all into slime, and then all the slimes die on the campfires. And by the way, these are the recipes and ingredients for the oozing potion, the infestation potion, and the harming potions. And yes, that is an actual slime block for oozing and an actual piece of stone for the infestation potion. We are using quite a few potions for this farm, so you will be wanting yourself a potion brewer and possibly even a witch farm. I have some good tutorials for those builds linked down below if you need them. Now, due to the lag that these guys create when they actually spawn in and die, this farm runs for longer than 3 minutes, even though those infestation potions only last for 3 minutes. So with 7 armadillos, it's going to run for about 3 minutes and 40 seconds before all the silverfish stop spawning. Again, this farm is running with 7 armadillos, so this is laggier than it's going to be for you. I would recommend only running it with about 3 or 4. So using the farm is really easy. We have a button up here that splashes them with infestation. That is going to last for a full 3 minutes, so be sure that you're ready to use the farm when you hit it. And then we're going to flick on the farm on button right here. That's going to take a second, and then it's going to drop all these silverfish down and hit them with the oozing potion. They'll then die on the campfires, and you get just a ton of these slimes to spawn. They die really quickly on these campfires here, but this is also the laggiest part because it has to spawn in so many slimes and so many items, but it's a short-lived lag spike. So that's basically it. Now you just wait for about 3 minutes until these guys run out of infestation and silverfish stop spawning in, and then once they're stopped spawning, you simply turn off the build. Now, while the farm is running, you will need to be standing down here to actually collect your items. You'll have to walk around, that way you can pick up the items through the campfires, and you'll have to be crafting those into slime blocks. I'd recommend searching for slime block, that way you can just craft a ton of these really quickly. Now, if at any point it gets to be too laggy, or if you run out of oozing potions or something, we have an emergency off switch. You can flick that lever, that'll just keep on dropping down all the silverfish onto the campfires and killing them. You won't get any items and you won't get any experience, but it will solve your lag issues. So if you want to use this farm for experience, it's really easy to convert over. First of all, you want to remove this wall right here, and none of the silverfish should be able to escape through that opening, but this allows us to throw harming potions in there, kill them all, and get a bunch of experience. Then you want to go downstairs and click on each one of these campfires with a shovel. that'll actually put the campfire out. And now we simply run the farm as usual. So we go ahead and we click on the infestation button right there to get ourselves a bunch of silverfish. And then I would wait around 20 to 30 or so seconds, maybe even more if you can handle the lag. And then you simply flick the emergency off switch to drop these guys down. You throw some harming potions in there, and that's basically all there is to it. As you can see, you're going to get yourself a ton of experience. Now, some experience will fall down here, as you can see, so there's even more for you to collect. You will have to go back and forth. But a word of warning, never throw your potion upwards at those guys, otherwise a bunch of them are going to escape. So, yeah, just don't do that. If you're getting too much lag and you need an emergency off, you can light some of these campfires with flint and steel, and then go ahead and just leave this lever up. That way a bunch of them die. And if this happens to you, just leave. They'll all despawn. Just run far, far away. Far, far, far away. It's not the most ideal XP farm, but once you're done using it, make sure that you put this wall back and make sure that you relight all of your campfires down here. Getting experience from this farm is really just a secondary feature, not its main purpose. If you want a really good purpose-built experience farm, check out my LA infestation farm. That gets you level 50 in about 40 seconds. If you like this kind of Bedrock tutorial, then make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and let me know what other tutorials you want to see on the channel. But let's hop into it. The materials that you'll need for this build is everything inside of this chest right here. It's all pretty simple and straightforward, and there's a full materials list for you down in the description of the video. Of course, you'll also need some armadillos. You can find them in the mesa and savanna biomes, and you can breed them up using spider eyes. I'd recommend that you keep a nice little pod of them somewhere near your farm. That way you can restock it in case they somehow die. And you'll also need yourself a zombie. So this is the area that you'll need to build with. It is going to be a total of 8 blocks long by 7 blocks wide, and is also going to be 16 blocks tall as well. So this is the very bottom platform of your farm where you'll be standing to collect your items and crafting them. The top of the farm is actually going to be about 3.5 blocks higher up. So this is going to be your main floor right here where you can actually control the levers of your farm and see what's happening inside of the kill chamber. So make sure that you have all of your proportions figured out and you know where everything is going to be going in your build area. But once you know where your main floor is and where your bottom floor is, we can hop into building. So we're going to start off by placing in 2 temporary blocks on the back side of this, and then placing in a ring of walls going around the edge of this build. This has to be made out of walls, otherwise everything is going to escape and explode and be horrible. So make sure that you're using walls here. You can remove your temporary blocks, and this needs to be a 3-block tall ring of walls going all the way around. So once you have all of your walls in place like that, we can go ahead and put 3 glass on the front right here, just so that you can actually see into the build itself. And now we're going to put in a ring of solid blocks going around this thing. You can use basically any solid block that you want. Make sure to avoid blocks that silverfish can infest, like stone or stone bricks, because then your farm will literally disintegrate. So once you're at this point, we need to put in ourselves a target block here, on the back side, on the left, and on the right as well. And now we're going to put a ring of upper slabs going all the way around this. And that's what your ring of slabs should look like. And now we're going to go ahead and take a line of redstone and go all the way around the build just like that. Make sure to connect up all of your target blocks. Technically, you don't need these 4 slabs right here, but it looks ugly without them. Now fill in your extra corner blocks right here with some solid blocks. And now we're going to put in our trapdoors. So we need a lower trapdoor next to each one of these target blocks, and make sure the hinge is on the side of the wall right there. That way all the silverfish actually fall down when they should. To test this thing, you can just place a lever on the side right there, flick that up, and this is what all of your trapdoors should look like. Now put a solid block in the middle right there, and this actually needs to be a pillar going upwards by 4 blocks. On top of this, put in yourself a piece of sand and a cactus, and now we need to build up the glass wall going all the way around this thing, and make sure to fill in the corner blocks as well. So it's going to be a complete square of glass going all the way around this chamber, and it's going to be going up to the layer above the cactus. So go ahead and fill in all of this. So now we're at the very top of the build here. We're just going to go ahead and put in ourselves a ring of upper slabs going around this cactus like so. On the front side of the build right here, we need to grab in ourselves a dispenser and place it facing into that cactus. We're going to place a button on the face of that dispenser, that way the cactus doesn't grow up. And now put in a trapdoor above here. It doesn't really matter what direction that goes. We also need a hopper going into that dispenser and a chest up here for storage for your infestation potions. We're going to install the zombie and the armadillos at the end. We need a way to power that dispenser from below, so we're going to place in a solid block up here. Make sure there's a block gap between this and your redstone line. We need a button on the side of that, redstone torch, block above it, redstone torch, block above that one, and then just a piece of redstone dust right here to power your dispenser. Now going to the bottom of the build, we're going to go to the right side and place in the dispenser that actually fires the potion. So we need a temporary block right there, a dropper facing to the right, and then a dispenser facing upwards like so. Now we're going to put in a bunch of signs. These are just to stop the smoke, so we need a layer of signs on all of these. You have to crouch in order to place signs on top of signs, or you could also use string. Either way, we need 2 layers in here to stop the smoke from the campfires. Now place in the campfires underneath that. Make sure to use the soul campfires since these kill the mobs a lot quicker. If you use regular campfires, your farm is not going to be as fast and you're going to have a lot more lag. And now it's time for the main control panel and the potion input. So we're going to go down to this dropper right here and we're going to put in a hopper on the back side of it and a hopper going to the side like that. Place in yourself a double chest above that for your oozing potion storage. And now we need a temporary block right here. We're gonna go out on the diagonal like this with 2 solid blocks. This upper lever is gonna be for your emergency off switch, and the lower lever is gonna be for actually controlling the oozing and timing of your farm. So the emergency off switch is pretty easy. We're just gonna flick that down, place in a piece of redstone dust right there. We need a block above that, a block right here, and a block right there. Put a redstone torch on the back side of that, and then we need a repeater right here on 3 ticks. And then when you unflick this, that is going to fire all of your trapdoors, as you can see there. And when that lever is down, none of your trapdoors should be open. And now to wire up the lower lever, we're going to go down to the back side of this. Place in yourself a block here and a block here. We need a comparator right here, piece of redstone dust, and then you need 2 hoppers facing into each other right here behind the comparator. We're going to do the same thing on the back side over here, so a couple of solid blocks in these orientations, a comparator right there, piece of redstone dust above that, a piston facing towards the hoppers, another one on this side, and then a redstone block between them, just for a basic hopper clock there. And now you need to put items into your hopper clock, so this is going to depend on how many armadillos you want in your farm. With 7 armadillos, I use 13 items, that way it fires pretty quickly and there's not much lag. But if you're using like 4 armadillos, you could probably have up to about 30 items in here, and that would make your farm run slower and kill them less often, saving you potions. But the less often that you harvest your farm, the more lag it's going to be because, you know, the more mobs that there are building up. Either way, make sure that you flick this lever. And to finish up the redstone, we're going to go down to this area right here, place in a trapdoor underneath that block, observer facing that block with a block behind it, 2 blocks right here, and then you want a piece of redstone and a repeater on 4 ticks going into that dropper. This is going to actually fire your potions upwards. And then now we need another trapdoor right here, another observer facing that with a block above it, and then you want 3 slabs going to the right like so, and a slab up. We're going to break out these pieces of redstone and these 3 slabs. Place in yourself a glass block there, and then you want 3 redstone dust on those, 2 more redstone dust right there, and then a repeater right here on 2 ticks. This is going to make sure that all of your trapdoors open up, your mobs have time to fall down, and then there's a little bit of delay down here so that they get hit by the oozing before they die on the campfires. Now, a very important note about this farm is make sure there is nothing touching any of these walls going all the way around. If there's any solid blocks of these, the walls are going to connect to them, and that's actually going to change the hitbox of the wall, and that's going to make it more likely for slimes and silverfish to escape from your build. Previously, I had this fully encased, but that turned out to be less reliable, so just leave it completely as is. We have the slabs on the front here, that way they don't connect. That's very important. And now you need to go ahead and put some infestation in the top and put some oozing into the bottom chest over here. Now we're going to install the zombie into the farm. So I would recommend that you just get any old zombie. If it has a helmet, then it won't burn during the day. You're also going to want yourself a minecart and a rail line just to get this guy up to the top of the farm. I'm going to put him on this block right here, but you can put him just about anywhere at the top of this farm, and that's going to be perfectly fine. So if you have him in a minecart like this, you can just kind of nudge him in there with some powered rail, and then as long as he's in there, you can go ahead and kind of seal that off, break the block right there, and that is about all there is to it. It really is super easy to get the zombie in there. So this is what my containment chamber looks like. It doesn't really matter what it looks like as long as it is up here. The armadillos are kind of a range thing, so as long as they are within range of the zombie, they're going to curl up. They don't need to be able to see the zombie or anything like that. Now you can use some leads to bring the armadillos up here, or another rail line, and once they get within range of the zombie, you can pretty much just push them around. I'd recommend that you put down another couple trapdoors to help line them up, and then you just kind of throw them in there, and that's pretty much all there is to it. If you have a really high-end device and you're in a solo world, you can use up to 7 or more armadillos. If you're playing on a realm or a server, maybe just start with 2 or 3, see how the lag is, and if you have a really low-end device, then, you know, 2 or 3 is probably also good for you. The more armadillos you have, the better your rates will be, but the more laggy this farm will be. And the more armadillos you have, the more potions you'll need in order to keep up with all the mobs. If you like this Bedrock tutorial, then drop a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.